Saturday night, the UFC returns to the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for UFC 276, featuring a co-main event trilogy bout between UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski and former champion Max Holloway. Let's break it down. Max Holloway is 30 years old. He's 5'11" with a 69-inch reach and a record of 23-6 with 10 knockouts and 2 submissions. From Waianae, Hawaii, Holloway came from a broken home which was plagued by drug abuse and took up kickboxing at the age of 15. He graduated high school in 2010 and made his MMA debut 3 months later with a unanimous decision, then won his next 3 before becoming the youngest fighter on the UFC roster when he took on Dustin Poirier as a last-minute replacement, losing via triangle armbar in the first round. He then won his next 3 before dropping a controversial split decision to Dennis Bermudez in 2013, with all 11 media outlets covering the fight, scoring it for him, and 3 months later lost a unanimous decision to future superstar Conor MacGregor. He bounced back the following year, winning all 4 fights by stoppage, and after defeating UFC mainstay Cub Swanson via guillotine choke, he beat future lightweight champion Charles Oliveira by first-round knockout when the Brazilian suffered a rare micro tear in his esophagus while defending a takedown. He followed those victories up with dominant wins over Jeremy Stephens and Ricardo Lamas to put him in line to fight Anthony Pettis for the interim featherweight title, which he won in the 3rd round with a body kick followed by 16 unanswered punches. On June 3, 2017, he unified the title when he defeated UFC legend Jose Aldo by stoppage, and 6 months later repeated that feat with another 3rd-round knockout of the King of Rio. After a prolonged layoff due to injuries and weight-cutting issues, he returned on December 8, 2018, when he faced fast-rising prospect Brian Ortega, putting on a brilliant display of skills and stopping TCity in the 4th round after giving him a hellacious beating, which saw Holloway break the record for strikes landed in a single round as well as in one fight. The following year, he moved up to lightweight to challenge interim champion Dustin Poirier, losing the back-and-forth brawl by decision, but 3 months later returned to featherweight, successfully defending his title with a decision over Frankie Edgar. In his 4th title defense, his reign finally came to an end when he was defeated by Alexander Volkanovski, who used leg kicks to nullify Holloway's offense, and 7 months later dropped a second, closer, and more controversial decision in the rematch. On January 16, 2021, he fought number 5 contender Calvin Kattar, putting on an absolute masterclass, dominating all 5 rounds, taunting his adversary as he effortlessly dodged his punches and shattered all of his own records for strikes landed in a single fight. 10 months later, he took on top contender Yair Rodriguez in an epic slugfest that pushed both men to the brink, with Holloway outlanding his opponent 230-159 en route to a close unanimous decision. Possibly the greatest striker in MMA history, Holloway has an unparalleled ability to create openings and attack from different angles, using an unsurpassed feint game to throw off his opponents and then overwhelm them with volume, landing at a rate of nearly 7.4 per minute. He also possesses an iron jaw, being the only fighter in UFC history to have over 25 fights without ever having been knocked off his feet. Alexander Volkanovski is 33 years old. He's 5'6" with a 71-inch reach and a record of 24-1 with 12 knockouts and 3 submissions. From New South Wales, Australia, Volkanovski took up Greco-Roman wrestling at a young age and went on to win a national title at the age of 12, though he gave up the sport in his teens to pursue a career in rugby. After a successful run of the semi-pro leagues where he weighed upwards of 215 pounds, he decided at the age of 23 to take up MMA, going 4-0 as an amateur in the middleweight division before turning pro in May of 2012 with a unanimous decision over Gerhard Voigt. He won his next 2 by TKO in the welterweight division before getting stopped with a head kick followed by ground and pound. He won his next 10 with 9 stoppages before making his UFC debut in November of 2016 with a 2nd-round knockout of Yusuke Kasuya. 7 months later, he dropped down to the featherweight division, defeating Mizuto Hirota, and followed that up with decisions over Shane Young and Darren Elkins, as well as a brutal TKO over Jeremy Kennedy. On December 29, 2018, he took part in an exciting brawl with Chad Mendes, getting taken down multiple times before catching Mendes with a left to the body and a right to the head to score a 2nd-round knockout, and continued his rise to the top with an impressive and dominant victory over all-time great Jose Aldo. In December of 2019, he took on Max Holloway for the featherweight title, dethroning the champion with a highly tactical game plan that consisted of relentlessly attacking his legs while landing counter strikes in the pocket. 7 months later, he won the rematch with a closer and contested split decision. On September 25, 2021, he took on the extremely dangerous Brian Ortega, surviving several submission attempts while overwhelming TCity with powerful blows, outlanding him 214-88 en route to a unanimous decision in an all-time classic, and 7 months later, dominated longtime contender Chan Sung Jung, stopping the Korean Zombie in the 4th round with a brutal 4-punch combination. A highly tactical, high-volume pressure fighter, Volkanowski possesses an impressive ring IQ, showing the ability to adapt his game plan and grind down his opponents with his stamina and explosiveness. In the third and final chapter of one of the greatest trilogies in UFC history, will Holloway's high volume and slick boxing be enough to settle the score? Or will the durability and counter-striking of Alexander the Great make it 3-0 as both men try to cement their legacy as the greatest featherweight of all time? Tune in Saturday night to UFC 276, and let's find out.